hopefully they'll be safer. And I think you're going to be going fast. You're going to be able to go from New York to Boston within an hour. You know, this transportation, and there are massive amounts of people going from one place to the next place quickly, and trains are going to do it.
Monorails?
Yeah, more effective. Not even monorails. These are the ones that work with the magnetics, where they're almost hydroplaning over.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's, and I just recently saw this, and I didn't even realize this, but these monorails, because they're using magnetics, it's renewable, clean energy.
Yeah.
We need to get rid of this old technology, and we need to go forward with.
Alright, Sylvia predicts a large drug bust in history. Largest drug bust in history. Last March, the U.S. Coast Guard seized nearly 20 tons of cocaine from a Panamanian ship, making this the largest maritime cocaine bust in U.S. history.
Now, don't forget, we're going back in time here, folks. So these are just validations of predictions from Sylvia Browne in the past, that where she got hits from these positive predictions.
But this was old news to Sylvia, who predicted this colossal event more than 4 months earlier. In her predictions for 2007, printed in the January-February issue of the Sylvia Browne newsletter, Sylvia foresaw a huge drug bust, the largest to date, that will be revealed on the docks. According to an article on the ABC.com website, 2 of the Coast Guard's cutters approached the Gatton on March 18, 2007, after a patrol plane spotted the vessel about 20 miles southwest of the Panamanian coast. The U.S. Coast Guard seized 42,845 pounds of the drug, which was estimated to have a street value of about $600 million. The bust blew past the old record of 30,100 pounds seized from a ship in September 2004, making it the largest in maritime history, just as Sylvia predicted.
Sylvia foresees trends in homeless housing. According to a recent article in August's 20th edition of the Christian Science Monitor, many American cities are on the bandwagon to find new ways of handling their homeless population beyond temporary shelters. But this was no surprise to Sylvia, who predicted more concrete solutions for the homeless in 2007. In her predictions for 2007, printed in the January-February issue of the Sylvia Browne newsletter, Sylvia predicted a hopeful future for those who live on the streets, saying new housing will be built for the homeless. It was reported that from New York to Dallas to Seattle, cities across the country are focusing not just on emergency shelter, but on getting the homeless homes. As a result, they are seeing reductions in the number of chronically homeless people on their streets and in their shelters, just as Sylvia predicted more than 9 months earlier. According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, more than 2.5 to 3.5 million people experience homelessness each year. Jennifer and I were once homeless together as a couple, and I was once homeless as a child. I actually spent time in the fish shelter when I was a child. That's why that's one of my number one. When I do have money, I donate to fish, or I donate clothes, or I donate whatever I possibly can to them, and I would like people to do the same to fish. It's a really good organization.
Sylvia Browne predicts California drought. California certainly sweat a little more over Sylvia's latest prediction validation, which called for a drought to hit the state hard this summer. In her predictions for 2007, printed in the January-February issue of the Sylvia Browne newsletter, Sylvia foresaw a severe drought for California this year. According to articles in USA Today and The Guardian, along with reports from the National Drought Mitigation Center, experts concur that conditions have been ripe in California for the perfect drought. Los Angeles has recorded just 3.21 inches of rain in the year ending June 30th, making it the driest year on record since 1877. Experts also said that Southern California will face extreme drought this year, just as Sylvia predicted, with no rain forecasts until sometime this month. It was also reported that California's Sierra snowpack, an annual source of water for ranchers and farmers, is at its lowest level in 2 decades. According to California's Department of Water Resources, this has caused more than 90 family-owned dairy farms in California to shut down since the end of last year due to the drought.
Sylvia foresees escalation of produce prices. I see this happening in 2011 too. Shoppers, this goes back to back in 2006, 2007. By the way, I see this happening big time in 2007, especially with the gas prices rising. Everything goes up when gas prices rise. Shoppers will soon be feeling the sting of higher produce prices due to the icy winter that has hit California farms, just as Sylvia predicted. On November 26, 2006, Sylvia said, "Crops will suffer greatly this year, and the price of produce will escalate." Almost 2 months later, on January 23, 2007, the Associated Press reported that as much as 3/4 of California's citrus crops withered in the fields during the cold snap, and nearly every winter crop, including avocados and fresh-cut flowers, suffered severely. Industry officials say shoppers will feel the sting through higher prices of oranges, lemons, and other produce, just as Sylvia had predicted. One seller even said shoppers can expect to pay $1 or even $1.49 for an orange.
Sylvia predicts new research to combat addictions. Addictions may be a thing of the past, according to recent scientific discoveries on a certain region of the brain, but Sylvia knew it all along. In 2000, Sylvia compiled a list of predictions for the next 100 years. On this list, Sylvia predicted addictions will be a thing of the past because of a brain stimulation which eradicated all of the addiction with no side effects. On January 25, 2007, the Associated Press reported that damage to a silver dollar-sized spot deep in the brain seems to wipe out the urge to smoke, a surprising discovery that may shed important new light on addiction. The research, reported in the January 26 edition of the journal Science, was inspired by a stroke survivor who claimed he simply forgot his 2-pack-a-day addictions, no cravings, no nicotine patches, not even a conscious desire to quit. Doctors worked to pinpoint the region of the brain involved with striking results. In the article, longtime investigator of the brain's addiction pathways, Dr. Nora Volkow, said studies show that little-known region called insula is a key structure in the brain for perceiving the urges to take the drug, urges that are the backbone of the addiction. It was also reported that the insula appears to be where the brain turns physical reactions into feelings, such as feeling anxious when your heart speeds up. When those reactions are caused by a particular substance, the insula may act like sort of a headquarters for cravings. If these findings are validated, they suggest that developing drugs that target the insula might help smokers to quit and other addictions to be eradicated, just as Sylvia predicted.
I just recently saw something on CNN where they were talking about the addiction centers in the brain. They were talking about Charlie Sheen saying that he is a casual crack user, but he is now going to completely stop taking it. And Sanjay Gupta was on CNN, and he was explaining the area in the brain in which addictions form. And what it does is it secretes this chemical. And your brain gets addicted to having this particular chemical being secreted every time something happens. Because people can't understand why there could be a physical addiction, like with smoking and drugs, but then there's addiction to, let's say, pornography, sex, gambling. What's going on? These are addictions. It's an addiction problem. It's not a physical problem, but there's a physical component when you introduce like tobacco and drugs and alcohol to it, but there's also a non-physical component to addiction. So what is actually going on in the brain? And they have found that your brain actually gets addicted to a chemical that is in the brain. And they have found a way, believe it or not, to make it so that the brain won't produce that chemical or desire that chemical. And I believe, and within the next 5 years, there's a good chance that addictions is going to be a thing of the past. So, going.
All right. Sylvia's prediction. New treatments for heart valves. The validation. In the January-February 2006 issue of the Sylvia Browne newsletter, Sylvia listed several new predictions for health, including new advancements to treat heart valves. Almost a year later, on November 18, 2006, as Sylvia predicted, the Associated Press confirmed that scientists for the first time have grown human heart valves using stem cells from the fluid that cushions babies in the womb. It was reported that the groundbreaking development may be a new approach to repair defective hearts.
New prediction. There will be major advancements in the treatment of hepatitis C, diabetes, HIV, and AIDS. Sylvia predictions. Bombing in the Holy Land. Validation. On several episodes of The Montel Show, which taped in February 2006, Sylvia repeatedly warned everyone about traveling to the Holy Land. "I'm just worried that it isn't safe." And she said, just 2 months later, on April 24, 2006, Sylvia's predicted USA Today reported 3 bombings, which ripped apart a crowd resort town during peak tourism season, killing at least 24 people and wounding more than 60. The Egyptian resort Dahab borders the Red Sea and the Holy Land. New prediction. The U.S. ports will be put on alert for parts of bombing being brought over from other countries. Now, before we go on to Sylvia's predictions, I do want to make a statement. Just recently, Sylvia Browne announced that she's going to make a surprising 2011 trip to Egypt. She's going to do this so that she could be there on November 11th, 2011, and she's asking people to join her in Egypt this year. I personally don't think that it is a very good idea that she goes there and does this at this time. She's been forewarning about the Middle East and the problems in the Middle East for years. They're now really developing, like I had said in the beginning of the show. We all know what's been happening in Egypt. It's happening all over the Mediterranean. She went in 2010. She's going to make a return to Egypt in 2011 to be there on this very spiritual day, which will be November 11th, 2011. And I don't think it's very wise, personally.
Alright, prediction. The Tom Cruise-Katie Holmes marriage. The validation. In the September-October 2005 issue of the Sylvia Browne newsletter, Sylvia predicted Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes will marry. but it will only last 4 years. A year later, on November 19, 2006, just as Sylvia predicted, Tom and Katie tied the knot in a fairy tale setting fit for royalty in Italy. They have a baby daughter, Suri, born on April 18, 2006.
Sylvia prediction, Britney Spears divorce. Validation. In January-February 2006 issue of the Sylvia Browne newsletter, Sylvia Browne predicted Britney will get divorced, finding her husband isn't who she thought he was. 10 months later, on November 7, 2006, as Sylvia predicted, Britney filed divorce from her 2-year marriage with Kevin Federline.
Sylvia's prediction, Nicole Kidman will marry a producer. The validation, Nicole Kidman has found love and walked down the aisle again this year. Although it surprised many, Sylvia knew it all along. On November 25, 2005, Sylvia predicted in the Sylvia Browne newsletter that Nicole would marry the following year. 7 months later, to the day, on June 25, 2006, Nicole married country singer Keith Urban in a fairy tale ceremony at Roman Catholic Church in Sydney, Australia. Just as Sylvia predicted, Urban is the record producer of his latest albums, including In the Ranch and Be Here.
New prediction, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes will never have another baby, or will have another baby, a boy. Sylvia prediction, tornadoes in the Midwest. Validation.
In the January-February 2006 issues of the Sylvia Browne newsletter, Sylvia listed several weather predictions, including more tornadoes in the Midwest in the spring. Last spring, on March 13, 2006, just as Sylvia predicted, CNN.com reported the swarms of tornadoes that killed at least 10 people across the Midwest, shutting down the University of Kansas and causing so much damage in Springfield that the mayor compared it to the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. The violent weather started during the weekend with a line of storms that spawned tornadoes and downpours from the southern plains to the Ohio Valley.
New prediction, more tornadoes will hit Texas, Kansas, Arkansas, Illinois, and other southern states in the spring and fall of this year. And she's absolutely right that they have been hit really hard. I would like to thank Amanda Bezio for updating our show beginning. She has gone through and made a few changes and updated it so that it's more, I mean, this, believe it or not, it was originally made in late or mid to late 2009, and now here we are in 2011, and it was time to update it.
Yeah.
We changed it slightly. We added the fact that the psychic couple is there, but it's still the same webpage, it's still the same people. We hope you enjoyed our Christmas episode. You didn't get to see our faces, I'm sorry. But we wanted to show you a Christmas scene while we read some of the Christmas things that happened, like Christmas around the world and things like that. So we
felt the story was more important than our faces.
Yes. So I hope you enjoyed the change of format. Just and we're going to do that from time to time. Not necessarily all the time, but we will do it from time to time. You don't need to necessarily see our faces all the time, right? Besides, you got a face for radio.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Hey, wait, you do radio. You are a radio host.
I am.
Yeah, but you also can get out there in the public. You know what? If you don't like what we look like, turn the channel. But if you like what we look like...
Don't look!
Yeah, but if you do like what we look like, well, then look. But if you don't, but you like what we're talking about, then go right ahead and keep on listening.
Throw a towel over the television set.
How about if you throw a towel over your head, and then we still do the show?
That's for Halloween.
Oh, okay. Oh, I love our Halloween shows. You have any predictions on what we're going to do for Halloween?
That remains to be seen.
Ooh. Yeah, we have fun towards the end of the year. Okay, moving on. Paranormal Chronicles. 2011 predictions from About.com. Scientific discoveries and inventions. Now, let me know if you think that, what you think about these. I'll let you know what I think. But these are some of the predictions that some people come in said for animals. The Tasmanian tiger will be rediscovered.
I don't think so. I think it'll be a cousin or a relative, something new, but it won't be the actual tiger.
Yeah. A prehistoric animal long enough to be extinct may be rediscovered.
I mean, long thought to be extinct.
Oh, yes. I agree with that one.
Yeah, that one I agree with.
Yes. Medical. Ooh, I like medical stuff.
A medical breakthrough will come from a place we never suspected. It will involve a coating material used outside the medical field.
A coating material?
Huh.
I'm not getting this one. I'm going to say this one is, I don't go with it. I'd say no. What about you?
Oh, I think something like that could come true.
Okay, let's move on then. While researching pancreatic cancer, scientists will inadvertently discover a treatment for nerve regeneration in
paraplegics.
Pancreatic cancer. I'm not quite sure there will be a connection with the pancreatic cancer, but inadvertently discovering a treatment while they were on the path for something else.
That's how most of our new medicine is figured out.
Yeah, definitely. And I do see that nerve regeneration for paraplegics is a real possibility. In 2011 is 2012, 2013 is more my prediction.
Alright, the next two are pretty much the same. AIDS may be curable, or a cure for HIV/AIDS will be announced in the U.S.
They announced that they are on the verge of two possible cures. One would be a vaccine. The other one would be an ability in which they go in there and starve a particular protein of its food supply, in which the AIDS virus would just die off. A vaccine available? Did they say available?
So announced.
Announced. Yes. I believe that to be true.
Alright, there'll be a cure for cancer announced in August. I believe a cure for some cancers. I don't believe it'll be a cure-all cancer.
And again, cancer, this year, towards the end of this year, you're going to find out that it is closely related to a virus. And viruses are usually preventable through vaccines.
They'll probably stumble on that looking for the AIDS vaccine.
Yeah.
The recent major gene mapping announcement will give way to rapid developments in cancer treatment, particularly for cancers of the lung and blood, leukemia, and some childhood cancers.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Use of stem cells lead to new medical treatments for Parkinson's and other incurable illnesses. Absolutely. This is...
yeah, stem cells are proving to be a real miracle.
Yeah. Stem cells, that you can get stem cells from adult skin cells. They have to be rapidly producing, and you can get them from your skin cells. They can be made into anything in your body. They can fix a bad heart by making a new heart, or just injecting your heart with stem cells. They'll just go right to where they need to go and become what it needs to be. It's just almost like computer programming on how they can get these things fixed and worked on.
There'll be a very popular invention that will help people regain mobility.
An invention. I see this as almost
destroying that basket.
An inside component, and I'm going to put this up so I can remember to delete it. He's never gone after the baskets before. He can't get it.
I've seen him moving it.
What are you doing? I think he's trying to go after this. You want that? Stop it. You be good.
How much have we recorded?
25 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah. Why? What does it feel like?
Feels like an hour's.
Hours?
It does.
It says 55, but don't forget we had it on for a while before we started it. Okay, where were we?
Alright.
Oh, hold on, I have to cut this out.
Science will discover a way to manipulate the nervous system into sending messages which will dissolve tumors.
Dissolve?
I don't think so much as dissolving tumors as it would be
through the neuro system? No, I'm not following that. But going back to the other one, a popular invention, I do believe that they're going to be able to insert something into the lower spine that will send signals to particular nerves to stop working or stop sending off pain, which will allow people that live with chronic pain to no longer have pain, or people that can no longer walk because certain things have been severed, be the bridge between what they used to have and the nerves that are still there that exist, and be able to
reconnect.
But I don't think this is in 2011. I think these people this is out a little further. I would say this bridge technology, maybe 10 years.
Alright, Alzheimer's. They will make a connection between saccharin and NutraSweet and how you need to avoid these chemicals if you wish to help to prevent Alzheimer's.
Yeah, chemicals. And it's not just saccharin, it is aspartame. I mean, they say NutraSweet, but it's aspartame. Anything aspartame is extremely bad for you. And
it's bad for you, but Alzheimer's existed before aspartame and NutraSweet.
It did exist, but it did not exist in the numbers. It is an epidemic in this country. More and more and more people at a younger age are getting it. And they're realizing that the younger that you start on these particular things, and I'm not saying aspartame is the direct cause for Alzheimer's, because I also believe that there's a lot of copper or heavy metals that are introduced into our food supply that is now being deposited in the brain that is causing a lot of these issues mentally. But one of the things that are causing it is aspartame.
Alright, technology and energy. A convergence of e-readers with PDA, cell, Bluetooth, and MP3 player technology will finally win over the older generation.
Yes, absolutely. This year there is a revolution in technology. Not only will the youth expect and want, the older population is going to be signing on to this and realizing, just like they did with the Wii, that, my God, this can improve my life. And I cannot believe the capabilities, and I cannot believe how simple it is to have such amount of stuff at my fingertips when I want it. It's just, there's no way that they can live without it.
Washington will approve measures to create solar panel companies and the federal mandated use of solar panels, giving the job market a boost.
Solar panels, wind, any alternative renewable fuel, as long as Barack Obama is in office, this is going to be one of the mandates for his environmental initiative. And he has gotten the ball rolling, and he has given it such a push that although he may not continue to go in this direction, he's already got it going. And he's already done what's needed to be done in order for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Renewable energies is out there. So solar panels, absolutely. Anybody want to donate a couple of them for me at my house? I'll take them right now.
Fusion power becomes feasible.
Not in 2011, no. But you know what? Like I have said with everything else that's happening
It's in the
world,
future.
Yeah. And it's only because the powers that be are trying to struggle and hold on to. Because if you have an endless supply of electricity, an endless supply of energy, how do you make money off of that? How do you make money off of these things? And the old ways of doing things, of a select few being able to control everything and make money off of, is going to be is ending in 2011, which will pave the way for these things in the near future.
Alright, a very cheap way to heat homes and provide electricity will be revealed.
Yes, I think it's the geothermal. It's our cat trying to get in.
Hybrid cars with solar panels to augment the power supply during daylight hours. It will take some time to make them affordable, and the oil lobby will oppose this.
Yes, I agree. What about you?
Definitely. Alright, new source of cheap energy will be found, but the commercialization will not occur for another 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, we already said that there's going to be something coming out, but it's not going to be for the next future. America will display a new stealth bomber that will employ anti-gravity energies and will stun the world.
Not in 2011. You're talking about 25 years from now.
Yeah, they may be just making it or developing it, but they're not going to make it public.
It's not going to stun the
stay
world
secret.
this year. There may be things leaked that people will be like, oh yeah, well, we have it, but there's not going to be documented proof.
Alright, paranormal events. Bigfoot. The existence of the Yeti, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, etc. will be verified before the end of 2010.
No.
Didn't happen.
They will capture Bigfoot in Seattle woods. No. They live in Seattle woods, but they ain't going to capture them. You know what? These things are extremely intelligent. Extremely. And why don't you find their bones? Well, there's two reasons why you don't find their bones. One of the reasons why you don't find their bones is, and I've seen it in documentaries, it only takes a week or two for a carcass of any dead animal to be completely gone in nature if left to the elements. Not only that, they go to a particular place and die, and their remains are protected by the others. Like I said, they are intelligence. They are a subspecies of human. They are not the Neanderthal, but I do believe that they are a branch of the Neanderthal, and they are extremely intelligent species.
Alright, the best evidence yet will be found for the existence of Bigfoot, as collected DNA from a documented confirmed sighting reveals a genetic code from no known species.
I believe that's going to happen. I think that will happen in 2011. Ghosts. The most surprising paranormal event will take place in the White House. One of the first daughters will be found talking to someone that only she can see. Barack will wish for this to remain quiet, but this genie will be released from the bottle by someone on the mother's side.
Well, we know the lighthouse is haunted, so it's just a matter of whether or not somebody finds it newsworthy.
It would be very interesting. I would like to ask Chelsea. She was from our generation.
Full apparition of a spirit appears at televised event. Well, we just had that happen with the horsemen in Egypt.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's interesting. I'm going to say that was a hit.
Yeah. Lost Worlds. Mr. Hawass in Egypt will embarrass his country and himself out of a job.
No.
No, I don't think so, no.
Zahid Hawass has now elevated himself to almost becoming the next president. He is so popular among all the religions, so popular among those who like the government or those who hated the government. His popularity,
But he's also separated from the government.
Yeah.
He is there for the antiquities. He is there to protect the heritage.
But he is a superstar, not only internationally, but within his own country.
He's a political superstar.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to become the next president, but I think he has secured his spot. He's done a very good job. I don't always believe in what he says. I believe that he could, I mean, we watched Chasing Mummies. I believe that he does have the passion for the antiquities, but I also think that he can be very passionate when it comes to the antiquities, almost as if they're his and his only. But I can understand, because if you look at some of the archive photos, like we just saw, we just learned that King Tut's mummy is disembodied, and how they just grabbed his head and walked it over to an x-ray machine, and one guy's just walking away with the Tut's arm, and I'm thinking, if Zahid Hawass was in charge of this, he would have a heart attack seeing them do this, and them cutting away at King Tut's mummy. I'm like, I couldn't believe when I found out that it's disembodied. So.
Alright. Startling new discoveries will occur with some ancient structures like the pyramids, Sphinx, and other global locations that will shed new light on a lost mother culture and the involvement of visitors from the stars over our past, especially our lost past.
This is happening right now. There has been every single major U.S. Elected official has been to Afghanistan recently. And then if you look at the news reports and you follow it, you see every major president and second in command and third in command or fourth in command have gone to Afghanistan in the last 5 months. And you will also see that Hillary Clinton called back, because she's the Secretary of the State, all of the ambassadors around the world to have an emergency meeting. And the rumors that are coming out right now from Afghanistan is that they have found a cave in which giants live. The giants are now claimed to be 12 to 18 feet tall.